If you want to know what happened since the first day of getting the news that the project is over and that I'm out of a job essentially, tonight's feedback night. If you want to get that feedback, stick around and watch this video. Hi guys, my name is Jacques Snyman and I make videos to help you create a more secure future for you and your family. We're both on that journey. I started in, I think it was video 9. I'll put a link in the description. And I suggested a couple of critical first steps that each of us has got to do once you get the news that either you're retrenched or you're laid off or the company's gone belly up or your project is terminated or whatever the case might be. Bottom line is you're out of a job essentially. There was 7 buckets of activity or 7 categories of activity that I suggested. The very first one was that you just need to breathe. And I've done quite a bit of that over the last 6 weeks. That's how long my journey has been. And I must admit, it has done me only good. So breathing is part of that process of looking after yourself. Guys, do your meditation, do your physical exercise, do your breathing, do whatever it is that you need to take care of yourself. That was the very first step. The second thing I suggested is work on your mindset. Remember, I said to you, this is not pervasive, this is not forever, this is not you. It is a temporary situation that you've got to deal with. That was the very first part of the mindset. And in the meanwhile, over a couple of videos, we've gone into quite a bit of depth in terms of what is mindset and how do you link beliefs, specifically limiting beliefs, to what you do and how you do and what the results are that you get and how you then start changing those limiting beliefs. So working on mindset, I've done consistently. I'm on day 31, as a matter of fact, with the process that I suggested to you in the first week that I started doing. That was just simply the daily repetition of mantras and setting an intention and then just reflecting after having done that process. So that has started to change the RAS for me, for sure. I'm starting to notice most definitely certain changes taking place. So that one has most definitely worked well. That was the second step. The third step was all about defining where you are from a financial perspective, from a network perspective, from an income and expense perspective. Go through all those things. All of those I've done, and I'm sure you would have done. What are your short-term options? And then what is your short, medium, and long-term plan to get back into business or to get back on the saddle if you want? Get back into the workspace and get back into generating some form of an income. That was the third step. The fourth step was to tell everyone. I've told my network, I've told acquaintances, I've told everybody that cared to listen. And most definitely that has been a very successful part of the process. I suggested also that in the 5th step, you need to claim from an insurance fund or unemployment or whatever the case might be, whatever is relevant for you. In my case, there's no such thing, so I didn't do that step, but I'm pretty sure that if you were able to, you would have done that and you would have been successful with that. The 6th step I suggested was that you need to update your CV or your resume. That I've done most definitely. I've also updated all the social profiles, specifically the LinkedIn profile. All of that was done within the first day or 2 from having received the news. And then the last thing that I suggested is that you need to look after yourself. You need to look after yourself from a physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional perspective. Look after yourself. Get enough sleep, and I'm still struggling with that one. I'm not getting enough sleep, and my sleeping patterns are not well regulated. But do the physical exercise. Look after yourself. Take care of yourself. It's that age-old story of the oxygen mask that drops out of the bin ahead of you in an airplane when there's a crisis. Put the damn mask on first on your own face before you start helping other people. So that's the whole issue of looking after yourself. So those are the 7 steps. I will give you also now some feedback in terms of what other things I've started doing in this process. So what has worked? The breathing has worked. The working on mindset has worked. The clarity that I got from defining where I am myself, what the income perspectives are and what the expenses will be and so forth, that has been very, very successful. I've told everyone in the network. I must admit I'm now at a point where I've just about gone through the entire network and I phoned whoever possibly could have been a link back into business. So I've done all of that. The resume is updated. That's worked well. At this moment in time, just a little bit of feedback in terms of what has happened. I've tried the LinkedIn route. been very disappointed in the response that I got from there. So not putting an awful lot of energy into that any longer. I mean, I'm sitting here with applications that I've submitted 3 weeks or longer ago, and the status of the application is still in the submitted stage. It's not even in the review stage yet. So it's all AI driven, guys. There's no relationships there. Nobody knows the individual on that network necessarily. So I haven't found that to be too successful. The network, however, has been hugely successful. I've connected with everybody and his dog, anybody who cared to listen. At this moment, from that process, there's at least 9 proposals out in the market with my name on it. 3 of them are pretty high on the probability list of being successful. As a matter of fact, I'm expecting an answer from at least 2 of those within the next 5 or 6 working days. In other words, somewhere between now and the middle of next week. So really looking good. I've done quite a bit of work on that subsequent to just connecting into the network. So there's definitely light at the end of the tunnel. So networking has worked. LinkedIn has not worked. Mindset, my training in terms of my brain and the mindset work has worked exceptionally well. And then a couple of other things I started doing. I started building the internet business, right? So that is still in a very, very early stage, but it's definitely one of those options in terms of building a more secure future for yourself and your family that you should consider. As we progress, I will give more and more feedback in terms of the progression regarding that journey. I must admit, in the last 31, 32 days, I've learned yet again an incredible amount of new wisdom, insight, skill, competence in terms of how to run an internet business. It's not completely foreign for me, but it is foreign for most of us. But the learning curve has been incredibly steep, but joyous and interesting and adventurous, and most definitely some energy coming from that. So building the internet business, both on YouTube and on the website, plus getting formal training, plus having subscribed to a coaching program, plus investigating affiliate marketing, all of those things I will continually give feedback on, and it is starting to work. So that's the feedback, guys, in a nutshell. If you want that list of 9 steps regarding how to change those limiting beliefs that I discussed yesterday with you, I'll put the mail, my email address in the description. Drop me a mail, and as per usual, if you like this, if you get value from it, subscribe, like it, drop me a mail. I'm just hoping that this inspires you on your journey. Remember, we're both on this journey. I might just be a day or 2, 3, or maybe even a month ahead of you. I will share the experiences and the learnings and the wisdom as we go along. So here's me rooting for you and your success. Chat again tomorrow.